Hey everyone, this is Wei and welcome back. Let's draw the main character from the anime show Re:Zero, and the character is Subaru Natsuki. So let's get started and I'll talk about the process along the way. Alright, so let's draw this character, and so for this kind of anime stuff, it actually really helps to do like a kind of like a bounding box for his head. But I'm just gonna start with his face. So I'm gonna try, let me sketch something right here first and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let's see. So this is gonna be like the lower part of his face. So I'm just doing a bounding box. So right here is his ear. And the reason why I picked this, because that's the widest point of his face, right? So I'm gonna go straight up. Now I'm gonna do his forehead. So it's very angular. Of course, there's gonna be a little bit more curvature, but overall, this is kind of like this is what I call like an envelope around his face. Okay, so his ears right here. All right, so just looking at this, just checking the proportions, see if it's kind of correct. So here's the center line. So I think, okay, let's move on. I think we're fairly good at this. I mean, close, not good, but good with this one. Okay, let's see. So one eye, another eye here. All right. His brow. Okay, his nose right around right here, kind of like right in the center, and then his mouth is just like down here. So it's actually really simple, right? So the hard part is really just figuring out the proportion, being able to draw this bounding box. Okay, I'll push it in a little bit harder. So this kind of stuff, you know, it's what they call an envelope technique, and it's actually very good, and you can use it for any kind of portrait drawing as well. I don't use it as much for my more realistic ones, just because, you know, it's just, I don't know, it's a little confining sometimes. But with these kind of anime stuff, it actually works really well because there's not a lot of stuff going on, so there's not a lot of things to, you know, start drawing and try to get reference points. But either way works. I mean, I'll probably do some of that, this envelope technique on my other portraits as well. But for now, let's just concentrate on this. So right there, I'm just kind of highlighting, little highlights, and then shade around it. Okay. All right, so that's fairly straightforward. I mean, there's nothing, again, it's all about the bounding box. And then for the hair, let's just say, so with the hair, what you want to do is kind of draw in kind of like the overall shape first. Don't draw in the individual strands, you know. So once you have this, let's say this is where, again, I'm gonna have to check the proportions. All right. Actually, let me just sketch in his ear real quick. So his ear on the bottom goes down to his nose. That's right. All right. That's how far down it goes. This is pretty straightforward. All right, so for the hair, once I have this outline, then I can go in and, you know, just kind of roughly kind of try to follow it if I can. If I don't, it's okay too. So very fast. I don't want to spend too much time doing these little strands, but it is part of his feature. Let's see. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3 here in the middle. And then this goes out to the side. And then this comes down. One big one here, and then another one on the edge, onto the side. All right, yeah, something like that. So when you're drawing this, I mean, if you want it, you can be a little bit more careful, but, you know, I don't want to be too clean because it takes a little bit more time, you know, just doing these line works. Sometimes as long as I kind of show you the process, I think I'm good. All right, a little bit cleanup, a little bit of more line work. Line quality is actually very important too. You know, try to be a little bit sure, you know, when you're like sketching, you know, just, you know, let the lines run long a little bit. So you just kind of like very quick, very, you know, don't try to do these unless you're a total beginner, you know, then you gotta have to shorten your strokes and do this little kind of little strokes like this. I mean, that's fine too, but if you can, you know, just kind of flick it, right? Like here, just kind of flick it. All right, so I'm just kind of, yeah, add a little bit more shading. All right, so that would be from the front view. So let me draw the side view here. Let's see. So side views usually is a little bit trickier because there's a little bit less. So I'm gonna do the bounding box again. All right, so I'm just seeing from his ear right here. That's the widest point again, right? His ear is gonna be right here. So I'm gonna come across. It's kind of hits its brow right there, and it's gonna come up to come out on the nose. If you go straight down. So let's see. So it's always like a very odd shape, you know, with these anime. So I'm just sketching in the bounding box with the ear. So if you look at it, you know, from the side, you know, just kind of see this envelope shape, see if the proportion is correct, you know. And if it is, it looks okay. All right, so let's see the ear, eyes right in the middle. All right, so his eyes right here. Eyeball. This one might be a little bit off. Yeah, eyebrow, okay. Yeah, I always find the side views a little bit harder to draw in anime. Just because there's so little stuff going on, right? It's like, so the less detail there are, you know, the more then you're gonna have to be careful with the bounding box. Because it's harder to get that proportion correct. I mean, it just takes practice. I think if you draw enough of this character, what happens is you end up being very good at it and you kind of memorize the proportions. It's like anything else. If you keep drawing it, you will remember how to draw this. Okay, and then the hair, same thing. Let's see, he's got a big clump going all the way back. So just kind of, I mean, if you want to do like a bounding box, you know, with these straight lines, kind of what I'm doing, you can do that too. So I'm just kind of simplifying the curve. Instead of like doing a curve, you can actually do it like this, you know, do it with straight lines. It's a little bit easier to draw and a little bit easier to correct. So I'm just kind of shaving, you know, to try to get the correct shape, right? So now once I have this, and then let's go hair right here, comes up, let's see, 1, 2, 3, and another one here, and here's the little strand that comes down, here, one big one here, 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 then goes up, up, a couple of loose ones on the back. So again, you know, very relaxed. Try to do it that way. Okay, and that would be side view. All right, let's have a little fun and draw this as if it's kind of like a semi-realistic person. So let's see how someone like this would look. So again, I'm just gonna be a little bit more loose on this, kind of reverting back to my old way of drawing. Always drawing the eyes first. Again, this is gonna be a very rough sketch. I have no idea if it's gonna be any good at all. All right, I guess his eyebrow is gonna be his main thing. Kind of cool looking character. Doesn't have much of a lid, does he? All right, let's make it a little bit darker. Like that, so might be a little bit creepy. All right, the nose. Let's see, yeah, let's draw a little bit smaller. And then let's see his mouth. Well, it's kind of pouting. So let's give it a little pout. Okay, and then let's do, yeah, his eye looks like it's bloodshot red. Probably need to fix that a little bit. Right, let's just keep going. Let's Let's see, he's got kind of a little bit of cheek, maybe not too much, or else it look like a baby. So his eye, just trying to add in some, you know, a little bit more realistic representation of a real face. Probably a little bit too cheeky, kind of looking like a baby. All right, and there's hair. All right, this should be interesting. So this is just gonna be really rough. Hair takes a lot of time, you know, but I think if we kind of simplify it, it might work. Just kind of shade it instead. Yeah, this eye is like way too creepy. Hold on, let me correct this. It's like, yeah, that's a little bit better. All right, let's do the hair a little bit more, the ear. Again, very simplified. Let's draw this side first, so my hand doesn't get over what I've already drawn. So it's hair. Yeah, I don't know if this is looking any good at all. But you know, it's a fun sketch. Let's just give it an overall shading on his hair. Maybe a little bit more strand. His hair's flying up. I'm running out of paper space. So messy hair. Let's give him some messy hair right here. Make this part a little bit darker because it's kind of going back. That'll give it some nice, it'll push, you know, hopefully some of these strands forward. Yeah, probably the hair is gonna be the most time consuming part. It's a little bit nuts. It's getting there, right? You see, I mean, I know it's really messy and all, but I guess they do have messy hair though. All right, let's do, and then we could put in a couple of strands. Just a little bit of line work here. That should give it a little bit more, kind of make it look like it's a little bit more detailed. All right, it's back. Back of the hair. Oops. Yeah, I don't know, this guy looks really weird now. All right, okay, let's make his eyes a little bit darker. Yeah, this looks like a kind of like a creepy anime. I'm sorry how this thing turned out. It was supposed to be semi-realistic, but then I kind of... Yeah, it's not that realistic. Okay, well, you know, it could be a kind of like an anime style in itself, for what it's worth. Yeah, it could be interesting if you actually shade it a little bit more. Alright, so that's it for this drawing of Subaru, and hope you guys like this, and if you do, please do give me a thumbs up, and I will see you next time.